Just to summarize here, so transcending fear and finding hope. So transcending fear, that almost many things that what we do in the name of trying to overcome and work with the fear, as I give the number of lists that we do, just trying to, I know that it's easy to me to say don't do it, and you say, okay, I'm not going to do it, but probably right after this, the live webcast, you were doing it. So I'm not even telling anybody or really asking anybody not to do it, but I'm requesting, can you do less? Or at least can you be aware how much you do? So if you're aware of how much you do, you're more likely doing less or not doing than thinking about this incredible promise of saying, oh, God, I realize that's really a terrible thing to do. I'm not going to do it anymore. That's not going to work. I know that. So not to do that, but what you can do is what we just did in the short session of practice. Just basically, it's about connection to your fear. So two ways. One, it's more like abiding in the nature of mind and allowing it to dissolve by itself. Probably the best and strongest way, but not necessarily easiest way. And if that works, great. If that does not work, then at least you, with the three precious pills, you're trying to kind of slow down, calm down, find more connection. And from that connection, you're trying to find some sense of more warmth, gentleness, warmth, a kindness toward your fear, like a mother giving a loving smile to the child. Or maybe imagine a mother giving some confidence, a loving smile to a fearful child. And then slowly the child, in the first smile, child no response. Second smile, child is looking. The third smile, child is smiling a little bit back to the mother. At some point, there's a big smile between the mother and the child. There's so much experiences in that connection of smile between the mother and the child. So it's the same way that you're what we say, confidence of view. The confidence of view giving the birth to a smile, and the smile is like a smile is basically it's a light, and when it smiles at the child or at the fear, at your fear, it may be in the beginning it's difficult to respond, but at the connection it slowly becomes more obvious. Then the smile, fear is smiling back. So there's some sense of a smiling, a confidence smiling at your fear. Maybe it's some sense of dualistic, but it's that connection is powerful. So there's a lot of wind there. There's a lot of chi there in that smile. And that smile will help to overcome and transcend your fear. For example, if you can hate, if you can look at your fear in like a very negative way with hate, maybe you logically can say yourself, if I can hate, maybe I can love a little bit. If I can look at this horrible eye, horrible face, fear is already looking very bad, and my face is worse than that, I'm looking at the fear, maybe I can smile a little bit. You have to kind of trust yourself. If you're able to do it very bad, you have to trust yourself able to do a little better. And if you trust yourself, you can do a little better, maybe you might do a little better. And when you are doing a little better, you can see the relationship with your fear is already changing. So that is what we want to do. We want to have better, not to think getting rid of the fear, but having better relation to the fear and transcending fear into the light. It's not so. So that's what we wanted to do. And the sense of the second part of your sense of finding hope. Finding hope is, I think, in some sense, it feels like very important to know how to trust, building some sense of trust. Because if you don't have any sense of trust in your life, then hope is difficult. I think hope, trust inspires, or trust gives birth to a hope. And then if it's a good kind of trust, then you will have good kind of hope. If it's kind of limited kind of trust, then you have limited kind of hope. For example, trust is not always, trust, some people think about trust as when you have to sign a lot of, when you're trying to buy a house or something like that, you have to sign so many, or refinancing your house or something like that, you have to sign so many things. And the idea of all this signature is some sense of, I don't know if it's a signature of trust or signature of distrust. Mm-hmm. It looks like more like a signature of distrust. There's basically, no matter how many people have signed up, when people don't want to pay, they don't pay. When market want to collapse, they collapse. Regardless of millions of billions of signatures, nobody cares about when it collapses, it collapses. But trust is a little bit more than expecting a return. Expectation of return is a limited trust. No expectation to the openness or open trust is where is a free trust. Basically, I'm very happy if this happens. If this doesn't happen, if something else happens, I'll be fine too. That kind of, do you have more openness in that trust? So that's, I think, is very important. So basically, learn to trust a little bit yourself. Learn to trust to somebody that you're facing challenges. Just learn any relationship, wherever you have little difficult issues of trust. Can you, instead of saying I don't trust and just stopping there, maybe you can say, can I trust? What does that mean to trust? Are there more space in that trust? Or there's a very limited sense of trust? So some sense of bringing more experience of trust as much as possible. So that's, I think, the main thing I would encourage in terms of the finding hope. Because if there is no trust, I think it's very, very difficult to have any hope. So I'm going to leave some question and answers now. So as I open up the question, and maybe I'll just say a few words as your questions come in. So, like when we talk about the trust, we can talk about the trust to inner refuge, for example. We can talk about trust when you feel that inner sacred space. Being fully aware of it is a trust. When you doubt something, can you overcome the doubt and trust? Can you trust outer refuge? Can you trust Buddha? Can you trust guardians, angels, protectors? Can you trust your neighbor? Can you trust your leader? Can you trust your colleague? Can you trust your boss? Can you trust your friend? Can you trust your partner? Can you trust your children? Anywhere can you trust? And the trust, again, as I said, trust is not about always one way and one outcome. Trust can change the dynamic. Like one time somebody told me a story, and she said she was basically dying, and she said, I tried every medicine, and this is my last thing I'm going to try. If I meant to overcome, I'm happy. If I'm meant to not overcome, I'm happy. So I'm happy. She said that. And I said, wow. But I said, I trust. So she's trusting whatever outcome is. If she it meant to not help her, if she meant to die, she's trust that. So that's what it is. That's what I'm supposed to happen. If I meant to overcome, that's what it is. So there's no losing with that boundless trust. Bounded trust, even sometimes you feel you win. I think you never really fully win. So that's, I think, some sense of more opening up to the places you can trust in life. See how many places, how many people you trust, and you ask yourself, can I trust more in life? Can I trust more people? That's the direction you want to go. You cannot say that, oh, I'm the only one trustworthy in this world, and there's no one else beyond me, anybody I can trust. How it can be? How it can be you're the only one who have difficult to trust anybody, that means you somehow trust yourself. It doesn't work like that. Okay?